I just want to show off my next project. Got a couple of these BST ones from taking audio, and just gonna put one under my seat, attached to these boards, so I got some MDF. Saw some reviews on or like some thoughts on how to mount these, on a couple of YouTube channels, and this is more of a reversible way of doing this. So decided to take two of these, one under the seat, one under the pedals, and I'll just mount those to the boards. I already cut them up to the size I wanted, and then drilled the mounting holes. Got the hardware for it from the hardware store. And I'm gonna mount mine right into the seat right there, right into the rail on the ASR4, and then under the plate right there. So I just did like a little 8x8 section, for that 8x8 inch. So we'll see how that works out. I've heard using these with the knob sound amplifier, 100 watt. These are 50 watts a piece, so that's a 2-channel amplifier, and it would give some good haptic feedback. I was gonna put one on each side of the seat, but I've heard the best, kind of like budget setup is probably, one in the back, one in the front. Usually kind of like miss, the side by side ends up blending together. So I decided to, try just mounting on the, right under the seats, right under the pedals. So I'll let you know how that goes. Yep, that'll be my setup. Let you know how that goes, what I added, what haptics I'm adding. Really looking forward to the gear shift and maybe a little bit of engine rumble. I'll show you what I tuned in. All right, thank you. Bye. There now, both of those guys. There's the front and then under the seat. This will just go to the pedal plates, so that's why I made it pretty small. We can drill holes anywhere we need to there. But they're both mounted on there with some lock nuts. We just look at the bottom. So I just use some lock nuts because there's gonna be some good amount of vibration on this board, on this MDF board. So, all right. Next is to mount them on the rig and drill a couple holes. Got some M6 bolts to bolt those, into the plate and then the profile into the seat. All right. Last night I finished my install of base shakers. So I've got one under there, and then I wired that to. Got kind of messed back here, which I have to clean up, get some mounts going. So I guess never finished here, but so I've got the two plugged right into the knob sound there. Just a little mini guy, does a perfectly fine job. You don't need anything more than that. And then got one mounted under the pedals right there. I had to kind of put a spacer in there because I got the pedals mounted here. Fortunately I was missing a screw, so I just found one in my bucket of bolts. So that worked out mostly. Maybe you get a kick plate there. I was planning on doing that, never did it, but maybe one of these days. So those all wired up, put it in SIM hub, connected right away. One thing I did notice, I had wired wrong. It didn't work. The one under the seat wasn't working, and it kind of like you couldn't really tell where it was coming from, which one was working. I actually had to touch it, so that kind of shows like even though you have them in certain locations, having the 4 would be difficult to tell which corner it was coming from. So even all the way to the front, was like, okay, which one is actually not working? You know, but once I swapped the wires, everything started working. You know, so a lot of tweaking going on in SimHub, but you know, starting to get it to a point that I like it. I'll go over some of those settings and some of the things I didn't like in a later video. All right, thanks. Bye.